Hello, Clint here, Crimson Landscape here to talk about your patio design. All right, I had to hit the mute button. Here's what I came up with. As per your specifications, this is pretty close. These are 3x3 leave outs. This roughly centered. I moved the space over to try to make it a little more equidistance between the two sides. As mentioned in the email yesterday, we have to have these spaces 7 inches to squeeze drainage in here. We need drainage. Even if we do a structure, I highly recommend you do drainage because if you get that massive, massive rain, water lands in this middle space, you're going to want drainage to make sure water doesn't get inside your house. This little section over here, I just try to equal it out a little bit to make it look like it made sense. We can just adjust it on the fly for what makes the most sense for this little area right here. Also, once we demo the patio, we'll determine if there's any underlying concrete. If there's any underlying concrete as part of the foundation, I don't think it is. I think your existing patio is actually was an add-on patio. This part of it right here, the concrete at least. Out here towards the main yard itself, a couple ways we could do it. We could delete these two right here. We could take this turf out to where the turf stops at the edges. If I do that, I have to build this section of the yard up. By adding this concrete border here, this becomes a quasi retaining wall that helps hold in all the material, the turf, and everything to protect your investment. We don't want there any erosion issues to take place because of the way the yard is sloped. Need some sort of landing by the gate. If you're going to move the gate or redo your gate down the road, it really doesn't matter. I can take this little piece out and we can straighten it to where it lines up. And you can move a gate to where a gate lines better with the concrete because there's plenty of space. Kind of your choice on that. Anyway, the concrete curb comes around this way, then it kind of cuts back, and as you can see, it aligns with this little multi-purpose space right here for turf. All right, let me go back at an angle. Let me lower this so you can see it. Ooh, lower this a little bit more. There we go, so you can see it without it. All right, let me grab that back and then raise this up. All right, so on the structure itself, this is a cedar structure. This is kind of a typical build for us. We call this a shade arbor. Some people call it a pergola. It's 2x8 rafters with 2x2s on top. We use beams. I didn't show the beams here. There'd be a beam that runs across this way, a beam that runs across this way. And the beams are tied to something called skyjackers, which integrate with your roof. So this will set off your roof. You would leave your gutters in place and water would naturally run to your gutters and follow the path least resistance towards your drain system. The top of the structure, and I'll send some emails, of course, to show pictures. Top of the structure, you have two options. You have two types of synthetic glass. One is just basically a roof cover that blocks about 90% of the water. The way the seams come together, there's a good chance that the seams will leak just a little bit. The other version is it's like a metal roof where the seams are elevated so water cannot squeeze through the seams. It works just like a metal roof. That's the more expensive option. Then the other options, ceiling fans, lights, heaters, the whole 9 yards, speakers, that's a ton of options we can add. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this over to you with some ballpark pricing and an estimate as long with pictures so you have an idea of what things cost. And you have to determine kind of what's important to you. If we pull it all together, the permit all together at the same time, of course, it goes a little more efficiently. We're going to build the concrete no matter what. Under the concrete permit, if you want us to pull a permit. With the structure itself, what we'd do is we'd pour the concrete, then we'd build the structure. Generally, how we do it. Last thing is demo. Because you have pavers, there's only one place in Dallas that'll take the pavers. Dumping there is kind of a pain, but the concrete itself, it's just jackhammering and hauling to the recycling center. All right, let me pause there, send you this video, and let you look at it, and again, I'll work on the pricing. If you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks.